A very good morning, students. Our session of auditing and corporate governance. Now, in the previous session, we have discussed about EDP, that is electronic data processing. In that, we have seen that the introduction part of it. Then, after we briefly discuss about the methods of EDP. In today's session, we are going to study the methods of EDP in depth. So, the first method of EDP, that is time sharing. In this processing method, many nodes connected to a CPU ACID central computer. A multi-user processing system controls the time allocation to each user. Each user can allocate the time slice in a sequence of the central processing unit. The user should complete the task during the assigned time slice. If the user cannot finish the task, then the user can complete the task during another allocated time slice. Yes, at the time of electronic data processing, we get the option of time sharing. Now here, particular time slabs is allocated to each and every task, and on the basis of that task, a responsible person is going to complete their responsible work between that particular time gap only, and that system is connected with the central system of computers. And if an individual fails to complete the whole task during that time gap which is allocated to them, so at that time again there is an alert on the main computer, that is alert on the central computer, that the particular task is still incomplete. So that task will be carry forward to the next session, and again the new time is allocated for the next task. So here through EDP a time gap is there. So within that time gap, a responsible person is able to complete their task. So that is time sharing. The second one, that is real time processing. Providing accurate and up to date information is the primary aim of real time processing. It is possible when the computer processes the incoming data. It will give the immediate response to what may happen. It would affect the upcoming events. Making a reservation for train and airline seats are the best example for real-time processing. Now, as far as real-time processing is concerned, here, first and foremostly, a computer allocates a real time, that in which time the organization or the computer is going to receive the incoming data. When that time is fixed by the organization, means in which time they are going to collect the incoming data in a proper manner, then and then computer is able to process the next step, that is the allocation of the incoming data as per their departments. So once when the real time processing is secured by the computer, so next step will be easier. But here again one of the difficult tasks, that is to identify the actual time, means at which time organization is receiving their incoming data in a proper manner. If company is able to find out that real time, then and then the organization is able to carried out the next work of processing the data with maximum efficiency and with minimum efforts. Then after third one, that is online processing. In this processing method, the data is processed instantly. Means when computer received any incoming data from the outsiders, then automatically computer is going to process the whole data. A nitty-gritty analysis of the data is there, and when the nitty-gritty analysis is done, then the data is going to be stored in a particular department as per their head and as per their characteristic. So here each and everything is done on the basis of computer, and company is able to minimize their efforts and maximize their efficiency. Like one example is there, when organization received 5,000 rupees, so that is the incoming data. Now 5,000 is on the basis of cash or credit. You are receiving that 5,000 on your cash purchase, or your debtors paid to you on their credit purchase. So here computer is going to scrutinize the whole data, and computer itself is going to store the data as per their head. So it is very easy for the organization. It is only one task that organization need to do, that is receiving data in a proper manner. Once they receive the data in a proper manner, then the next step continue on the basis of the whole online processing. A communication link helps to connect the computer to the data input unit directly. Each and everything is directly related with each other. The incoming of the data, the processing of the data, and the allocation of the data. The whole thing is connected directly, in these all things connected online. The data input may include a network terminal or online input device. Online processing is mostly used for information research and recording. Yes, when R&D is going to be applied in a specific topic or in a specific department, so at that time the online processing will be useful. Then after multiprocessing, yes, it is a limitation of a human, it is a limitation of us, that we are not able to perform the different tasks at the same period of time. We required a proper time period to finish the particular task, and after finishing one task, we are able to continue with the next task in the second task. But it is not there in a computer. Computer is able to process different data, different information at a single period of time without any mistakes and with the maximum accuracy. So multiprocessing is a processing of more than one task that uses the different processor at the same time of the same computer. Yes, it is possible that organization is in position to continue with the same computer and in the same computer they are in position to collect the different datas, the different methods at the single period of time. It is possible in network servers and mainframes. In this process, a computer may consist of more than one independent CPU. Yes, there are many CPUs, but they all are interrelated with each other. Suppose there is a transaction in marketing department and that transaction is recorded in computer 3. So with the connection to the central computer, with the connection to the main computer, the data automatically generated in the main computer. So it is not like that when you are going to enter in a single computer, in the main computer, then your process starts. But yes, when the computers are interrelated with each other, then the organization is able to conduct the work of processing data at the same time with multiple data processing. These makes data processing much faster. To make coordination in the multiprocessing system, in this process, the different processors share the same memory. Yes, there is the same memory, there is the equal memory, but they are going to process in the different computers. And with the help of the different computers, the memory is to be shared in a proper manner. Then after multitasking, if you are able to carry the work of multiprocessing, then definitely you are in position to carry the work of multitasking. Multitasking means when a particular human is able to perform different tasks at the same point of time. Here we are not going to deal with any human, we are not going to deal with any employees, but here we are going to deal with the computers, and computers has that kind of efficiency that they are going to process or they are going to continue the different tasks at the single point of time without wasting the time, without wasting the energy, without wasting the resources. Different task is to be carried out with the single computer and at the same period of time. It is an essential features of data processing. Working with different processor at the same time is called multitasking. In this process, the various tasks share the same processing resources. The operating system in the multitasking processors are time sharing system. Yes, when the main computer is connected with their servers, with the different computers, so at that time the whole operating system share the equal time at the equal point at the single unit. Then after interactive processing, each and every computers are interrelated with the main computers. So when the central computer is going to share some data with the particular computer only, then they are able to process individually. And suppose financial department want to share some financial data through computer, then that data directly processed in the central computer. So each and every computers, each and every data are interrelated with each other. Now it is a duty of the organization that how they are going to adopt the process of interactive. This method includes three types of functions. The following are the types of functions. The first one, that is peak detection, second one, that is integration, and third one, that is quantitation. Yes, it is not useful for your examination. You are only supposed to remember the simple meaning of interactive processing. Here we are least concerned with their different types. So as far as your examination is concerned, you are going to explain the basic meaning of interactive processing. It is a very simple way to work with the computers. These method of process can compete for each other. Then after second one, that is batch processing. When the type of organization is manufacturing and the whole process of production is divided into different batches, so at that time the same concept is applicable in batch processing. When the whole work is divided into different tasks, when it is divided in a different group, so that processing is known as data processing. Like the data of production department, like the data of marketing, like the data of finance, or the data of human resource management. When the whole data is divided on their separate groups, so that will be known as batch processing. Now in this method, the processing data can be divided as a group over a required time period. Yes, again, a time slot is allocated to each and every group. So, in a particular group, they are going to carry the work of data processing and data allocation. This allows the computer to perform different priorities for an interaction. This method is very unique and useful to process. Then after the next method, that is distributed processing. Now as far as the name itself suggests, distributed processing, when the whole data is divided as per their departmental head, so that processing will be known as distributed processing. This method is usually used for remote workstation. Since the remote workstation are connected to a big workstation, the customers get the better services from this process. In this process, the firms can distribute the use of geographical computers. The best example for this distributed processing method is ATMs. Yes, if we want to withdraw a particular amount of cash, then there is no need to visit the bank in which our account is there. But with the help of ATM machines, we are able to distribute, we are able to collect, and we are able to deposit the money as per the requirement of an individual. So that's all about the methods of EDP. I hope it is clear to each and everyone. Now the next point, that is features of EDP. there are different features of EDP. The first one, that EDP requires minimum input documents. As we all know that EDP, the main task of EDP, that is to collect incoming data in a proper manner. So through EDP, the documents needed are very less. Now organization is not going to deal with any documents, they are only concerned with their incoming data, and they are in the form of electronic. The second feature, that is high speed in process. Yes, as compared to the human efforts, we can easily say that the processing is very high as far as the EDP is concerned, because the data received through the computers, the incoming mails, and when the computer receive such kind of data, then automatically they are going to process without any time gap. So immediate action is possible as far as the EDP is concerned. Third one, design is complicated. Yes, it is not an easy form, it is not easy design that each and everyone is able to collect or able to record the data with the easy task. The design of EDP is very difficult. So a proper training, a proper experience is required when you are going to record your data in computers. Then after, transactions are system generated. Each and every transactions required the central system for their permission. Means no individual or no transaction is going to do their processing without the permission of central computer. So each and every transactions are related with the system generation. They all are interrelated with each other. The next point, that is manual control is replaced. Here each and every internal control is done by the computers. So here individual is not responsible for it. And when the control is done by the computers, then the chances of error, the chances of fraud will be minimized. Then after, next point, that is audit trail is lacking. Audit trail is our next point. So at that time I will explain you what is audit trail and how this point is lacking in EDP. Then after, the next one, that is maximum internal storage. One of the main limitation of manual account handling, that it requires the maximum physical resources to record the single transaction. But as far as the EDP is concerned, the organization is able to store the maximum data with the single efforts. Then after, the next feature, that is focused on data and program. everything is done on the basis of computers. So in EDP, the main focus is on the basis of data, that how they are going to receive the incoming data and how they are going to give a programs to their incoming data. So each and everything is depends upon the data and the programs that the organization have, or the organization is adopting at the time of EDP. The next point, that is no internal control. Yes, there is no internal control as far as the EDP is concerned, because the command which is given by the computer is controlled by an individual. Computer does not have that liberty that it is going to give the command as per its choice. So through EDP, organization is not in position to adopt the internal control in a proper manner. Then after, maximum security of data. Yes, the safety of the data is high, because there is the no chance of damage, there is no chance of retention, and there is a no chance of loss. So as far as compared to the manual accounting system, the handling of the manual accounting system, the security of data is very high in EDP. Then after, the last one, that is system jargon. Yes, each and every system has their unique jargon. So as far as the EDP is going to be considered, so in EDP, the EDP has their particular jargon, and that jargon, that system is to be appointed by each and every department, in which the data are to be processed in a proper manner. So it is about the features of EDP. I hope you all are clear about the features of EDP and the methods of EDP. Yes, with the explanation of the EDP, we are going to end our 4th chapter, and with that we are going to complete our unit number 1. Now in the next session, we are going to explain, or I am going to explain audit trail. Then after, the purpose of audit trail. Then after, the compensation of audit trail. And the last topic, that will be CAAT. So in the next week, we are going to end our unit number 1, our chapter number 4. Again I am repeating myself, that is, please prepare a quick note for auditing and corporate governance, because in a single unit we are going to learn 4 different chapters. Single unit consists 4 chapters, make sure. So it will be easy for you that if you are preparing the quick note, then you are able to have a complete knowledge of each and every concepts.